Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. So today's topic, right, we wanted to bring a beginners friendly discussion of the 12 universal laws. Now, I feel like a lot of us may or may not have heard of these laws, but these laws are basically dating back to ancient Egypt.
And a lot of them too, you'll find speckles of them in like the scriptures, old holy scriptures, the Holy Bible, the Quran, or any other books that you follow or deem holy. These laws are pretty much a way of life. You know, it's the basics for success. Obviously, there's more to it. You know what I mean? But if we want a specific rule book, because a lot of us say, "Oh, Earth don't come with instructions." Actually, it does.
Okay.
We just didn't know, right? Or we're not listening, or we weren't paying attention. These instructions ensure that you operate in a way that, you know, helps you, others, and doesn't step on anyone's toes. Given that, you know, we don't use it for manipulation or things like that because they are very powerful laws. So they come with responsibility as well.
Okay, key word on that. It's about self-mastery here.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and dive into each of these laws for you. So the first law that we have is law of divine oneness. It's all connected. I mean, I think we've seen the hit show, may or may not, right, on Netflix, Manifest. And they always say in every single episode, it's all connected. It's all connected. Now, what does that really mean? Okay, so it's basically saying beyond our senses, right, of like physicality, of thought and action, and event in some way, right, in the realm that we're all connected. Through that oneness of being, spiritually, physically, everything. So now with this law, right, we're all one. How do we apply it? It's very simple, right? So this is gonna urge you to question yourself. You know, bring out a pen and paper and ask yourself, like, how can I bring compassion and acceptance to those, you know, that I do not understand? Okay, what would Jesus do? Now, if you don't believe in Jesus, that's fine. You place that with source. What would source do? What would love do? And basically go about answering these questions for yourself.
Yeah. The next one here, guys, is law of vibration. Okay. This is one of the common ones that we hear of. This law basically indicates that everything is operating at a particular frequency. And I say operating is vibrating at a particular frequency.
Yeah.
Even the rock that sits still has its vibration. The flowing water and the waterfalls have its own vibration. Animals, plants, humans, we all are operating at our own vibrational frequencies, right?
Yeah.
And the vibration that we operate in affects our lives. Normally, you can tell, you know, when a person is carrying a higher vibration versus one that carries a lower vibration, it shows, you know. One is like happy, everything seems to be going right for them.
Yeah.
Everything's natural. You know what I mean? Like they manifest things easy. What they want usually comes to them. And it's just an easier life versus the ones who's always negative or who thinks all the bad stuff always happens to them. Yeah, well, that's the difference in vibration. And guess what controls your vibrations? It's going to be things like your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your beliefs, things like that, even your physical being. Are you healthy? Are you not? Those are all indicating what your vibration is that you're operating in.
Yeah.
And how to elevate your vibrations? Well, I mean, you can do some chakra work. You can do yoga. You can do sound bathing, okay? There's certain music that affects us in certain ways, right? That is why it's important, especially when you're feeling down, you don't listen to music that's gonna bring you down because that's the vibration that is bringing you onto it. You're trying to match that vibration when you listen to something.
Yeah.
So you wanna elevate your vibrations, listen to higher vibrational frequencies, and you'll see how literally your moods start to change. Your thoughts change. Everything just gets better. It doesn't look so bad.
Okay, and we love that for you. So now we want to talk about the law of correspondence. Now, this is basically stating that our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside of us, right? And the moment. So kind of like you pushed out externally, as above, so below, as within, so without. Now, this law is how to apply it, right? Now, like if you're in this predicament where you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is horrible, everything around me is horrible, right? It's you who have that emotion pushing it out there. So you are gonna be say late for traffic. You are gonna catch all the red lights because you're not vibrating, like you were saying, at that neutrality of that appreciation even. Mm-hmm. So how do you get out of yourself of that rut? Well, it's simple, right? So you want to apply this mantra, like it's happening for you, not to you, okay? That all those red lights that you're taking, just accept it. You can't change anything about it.
Right.
It's happening for you. Just take it and accept it and move on.
Yes, that's good. And then the next one here is law of attraction. And, you know, this is one of the main ones we hear. It's very popular.
Very popular, okay?
You hear the sayings of you are what you attract. You are who you attract, you know. You are what you think. Things like that, you know, that is all applying the law of attraction, okay? What you give your attention to is what's going to keep coming towards you because you're attracting it. The universe reads that as, oh, she likes that. Let's send her some more of that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to focus on all the bad things that's happening. You're going to keep attracting the bad things that's going to happen to you because the universe is registering it as this is what she wants. This is what he wants. Okay. So let's really pay attention to that, guys. And I mean, and even all of these laws, they go hand in hand with one of each other, right?
They're all connected.
It's hard to really explain one without seeing how the other one plays a role in that too. So, I mean, when it comes to manifesting or wanting something or needing something, you know, you have to realize that what it is that you want can be obtained. If there's any hit in you or feelings in you that may feel like, you know, or maybe you may not get that, or there's doubt or anything like that, well, that's going into your the laws of vibration, because it's recognizing that, all right, she wants this, but she's operating at a lower frequency.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that, okay? You're going to get that, which is what you're putting your focus on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really pay attention to that, guys. And when it comes to law of attraction, how to apply it, you focus on the things you do want versus on the outcomes you don't want, okay? Because if, you know, your attention, that's energy. You're feeding it. Just so then keep that in mind.
Okay, and what we have next here is law of inspired action. Now, the key word here is inspired, not forced action. A lot of us thinking like, oh, action, let me go out there and go, 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 go. This is not what this law is about. This law is about letting go of our need to control and arrange how things will work out, okay? All of these controlling aspects, we need to let that go. Instead, you want to open your mind to all the possibilities, okay? All of the unforeseen solutions that you may not be aware of at that time because you're not focusing on it. Right. So it makes, you know, it gives us new ways of achieving our goals. You know, when people think, oh, they think outside the box, or, oh, wow, I didn't think of that before. All of that is that inspired action that it comes to you when you're not really looking for it. So how do you apply this law? Well, slowing down. Okay, giving yourself space for internal guidance. Keyword is internal, right? So you want to go ahead and get to know yourself. You know, sit down somewhere, let the answers come to you, and most importantly, let go of that controlling aspect. Surrender.
Yes. The next one here is law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Okay, and this law states that, you know, energy can neither be created or destroyed. So it is there. It is up to you to decide what you want this energy to do for you, okay? It is constantly moving from one position to the other, okay? Exactly. From positivity to negativity to positivity. Whatever you want it to do, it's going to do that, because you can't just get rid of the energy. So it is important to keep that in mind, because once you understand how this law works, it can actually be the most powerful, the most important law, because you can change any bad situation into literally a good situation. Exactly. Kind of like how you were saying with the law that says, you know, everything is happening for you, not against you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That is kind of like the same thing. It goes into this one as well, you know? So let's keep that in mind, guys. And, you know, the energy, it will stay stagnant, and the vibration that you keep it in, unless you transform it into a different vibration. So it's important to know this. And once you know this, we can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us by maintaining positive thoughts and actions.
Yes, and we love that. You know, be the own transmute your energy. Be that alchemist in your life.
Exactly.
So I have here the law of cause and effect. Okay, very simple, right? This law highlights the direct relations between actions and events. So it's kind of like when what you put out there in the world, it may not come back to you right away, but surely enough, it will come back to you. It has a ripple effect, okay? It's kind of like checks and balances. So if you're coming from a place of anger and resentment, and then everything you're putting out there is all of that, best believe you're gonna have that anger and resentment come back to you. Okay, and then when I say ripple, it could come back even in tenfold. We just don't know. So definitely be aware of what you're putting out there. So how do you apply this law? Well, like I said, trust that every action, there will be a reaction, whether it's good or bad. It's like that golden saying, what goes around comes back around. So definitely want to treat others how you want to be treated, because the energy don't miss, honey.
Yeah,
it won't miss.
All right, the next one is law of compensation. Okay, it is no wonder that when you go to work, your job pays you. Okay, because it's a give and take. You know what I mean? When somebody goes into a potluck, right? It's kind of, look at it like that. It's like we're all in this potluck. We're all putting in something to get back a full meal. You know what I mean? When you only brought pieces of the meal. So this is all applying the laws of compensation, okay? When it comes to asking or wanting something from others, well, do you have something to give? You know, and a lot of us have this instilled in our routines or cultures or whatever. Some people don't go over to their friends' houses without bringing something. They always come with something, because when you go over to the home, more than likely you'll probably get something out of their fridge to eat. You know, you are taking their time. Okay, so give something back. And we actually see this application of the law in the Bible too, where you see people like giving offerings and things like that, food or a lamb, whatever it may be, when they wanted something from God. They never just came empty-handed and was like, God, I want this. No, they would have the offering and then state what they needed. You know, that is the law of compensation. You know, if you are seeking something, you must contribute in some way towards your goal.
Period. I love that, because the way we love to get compensated, go ahead and do what you need to do to be compensated. So what we have next is the law of relativity. And so this law suggests that we are inclined to compare things, you know, in our worlds. But in reality, everything is neutral. But you may not see it that way, because you're thinking, oh, a lack of this. Why do my neighbor have this and I don't? Or they have a better car than I do, or this and that. How do you know it's even better, first of all? Well, because you're comparing. The key to this is to stop comparing and to just start appreciating what you have. Because like I said, everything is neutral. There is no better than the other. It's what you make of it. So how do you apply this? Well, simple. Like I said, you appreciate what you have day to day. You are grateful for it, because that is how you attract that abundance. Because if God is looking at you, or source is looking at you and thinking like, hey, this person has, let's say, I don't know, one car, but they love the heck out of it, right? They're appreciating it. They'll give you more. There's now that you have two cars, but say you have one car, you're not even taking care of it, right? And all this thing is happening to it. Well, how can God entrust you with another car? You didn't even take care of that first one that He gave you. So really sit there and appreciate what you have.
Okay. The next one here is law of polarity. Okay. Now this one states that everything in life has an opposite. Okay. Good, bad, yin, yang, things like that. Like there's always going to be the exact opposite. And we like to think, well, why would such a thing exist? Okay. Because the opposite of good, why would anyone want bad? So once you have experienced both, now you come out with a certain clarity, don't you? Right? You know better. Once you've only known one side, like if things have always just been bad, how do you know things could be better? You know what I'm saying? And if things were always good, how would you know that things could be worse? So it's important that these contrasts exist. And it's funny because you know what? I see this law applying all the time, especially in situations where, you know, you're on one side of the spectrum. Okay. And then we often say, oh my goodness, like the universe flipped the tables on us, right? For example, if you were a couple, you know, the one couple cheated, and then the other one is the person who got cheated on, right? And then the actions and behaviors and things like that comes from each, and then boom, it gets flipped, and it's a different relationship. You're the one who becomes the cheater, and then the other person becomes the cheated on. Well, now you see the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You see what it's like, okay, on both ends. So now you have more insight on situations like that. So you know, don't appreciate. I mean, I guess one would like to appreciate one more than the other, especially if it's the good outcome. But there's a point for everything, is what I'm saying. So yeah, how to apply this law of polarity? Just keep in mind that all contrast brings more clarity. Okay, it could be a situation you're not, you know, that's not favorable. Just know that it's all happening for a reason.
Yeah,
right.
And we love clarity. Okay. So now we have law of rhythm, and this is basically saying that cycles are a natural part of life. Like, for example, the seasons, you know, fall, winter, summer, spring. So now the important process, that's the physical part of it, right? Spiritually, we know that we have to remember in our own life, we have to integrate all of these, and they're part of growth. Now, when you think about it, right, like the process from one to the other, for example, for fall, what's the first step of like, you knowing that it's fall? Some could be like, you know, the weather's slightly getting colder, the trees, the leaves are getting brown, and then when they get darker or brown, they fall off. It's appreciating the season that you're in, the process and the cycle, because we all have to move in and out of phases in our life. I mean, you graduate high school, you move on to where? Either the workforce or college.
Right.
You know, now you're in college, you move on to the real world. It's all about like going to different phases of your life with grace, because you know it's gonna come regardless. It's that movement of energy. So how do you apply this in your life? Well, you sit with yourself, be honest of where you are at your current season. Okay, so if this is a season where you was like hustling and bustling and working, you know, working 2 jobs and not enough time for yourself, well, maybe your next season is taking your time, you know, quitting that one job and finding time for yourself and enjoying the things that you enjoy and giving space for yourself.
Right.
Moving in and out of phases.
And last but not least, guys, we have law of gender, okay? Now, this is not about what sex you are, what you identify as. This is just indicating that all living things both have the masculine and feminine energies in us, right? And it's about finding that balance in between, right?
Yeah.
And I love this one because I feel like we've done a couple episodes where we discuss, you know, how we can use our divine masculine energies or divine feminine energies to be able to, you know, manifest, live authentically or whatever. But yeah, so this is pretty much the law of gender, guys. It exists for a reason because each one of those masculine or feminine energies comes with its own benefits and contributes to the universe somehow, right?
Yeah.
Makes the world go round. So guys, really apply this one because it'll work the best for you, I promise.
Exactly.
Once you find the balance between divine masculine and divine feminine energy, it allows you to be able to live more authentically, allows you to be more yourself, you know?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you honor both sides of you. They both exist. So don't shame one or over in favor of the other.
Right?
Yeah, so like I said, there's so many different laws out there. So if we, you know, if there's a law that we did not mention, but you swear you live by, go ahead and drop it in the comments because we would love to know about it.
Exactly. And I know some of them, you know, might have been new. Some of them you might have heard before. If we missed any explanations or maybe you have a better explanation for some of these laws, definitely share it in the comments as well.
Yeah.
And guys, really like and subscribe because we drop these videos every week, so you don't want to miss it.
So we will see you guys next week then, okay?
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.